Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Tanner151 here, and I'm here to bring you a Assassin's Creed 3 review of the game in general. This is multiplayer gameplay in the background. I forgot to record partway through the game, so that's why it disappears to me in the middle of a crowd. The game had already been going on for about 2 minutes. Anyway, I did make another video that was a review, but it was so rage-filled, mainly because of the campaign and because I wasn't able to play multiplayer, because my multiplayer disc came scratched, so I had to go to GameStop and get a new multiplayer disc. So that's why I didn't put out that review. It was too filled with rage. It didn't actually go into the depths of the game and how good it was or how bad it was. It was all rage, especially with no multiplayer, which was disappointing. I mean, I don't get the game for the multiplayer, but that's half the game that I don't get. So when I got the disc, I decided to play a couple of games and choose one that was at least somewhat decent and show the aspects a little bit and talk about the entire game as its entirety. Alright, now let me talk about the game. Assassin's Creed 3 is the fifth game in the franchise. It is a continuation of Desmond's story, and it is the first game where Connor, or his Mohawk name, which I cannot pronounce. Maybe my Indian stepmother can, but I can't. Anyway, it is Connor's first time, and it's set during the Revolutionary War. It's his first introduction to the series, and it continues Desmond's story, which is in present day, and these are his ancestors. Now, the game starts off beautifully. You're in a British opera house, and it's very good. And there's a nice little plot twist for about 3 hours, about 3.5 hours, where I thought I was an assassin. Turns out I was a Templar. I was like, whoa, crazy. Now, while it doesn't affect the game as a whole, it was a nice little touch. However, those hours, the first 3-4 hours of the game, were extremely boring. They were, for me at least. I didn't have much fun. We were really limited in what we had to do. It was not really open. It was really scripted, it felt. I mean, I didn't really test it out, but it just felt scripted to me, and it was boring. However, past that first 3-4 hours, once we get into Connor's adult stage, it got really fun. I enjoyed it, and I was having a lot of fun. So it would bounce back between time periods because some missions you can only do in 1776. So if it's 1780 in the main story, it'll be like a flashback to 1776, and once you complete that mission, it's still 1780. So that's kind of weird, especially when you finish the game. When you finish the game, there are still redcoats in the colonies, even though it's after you won independence. They're in forts, and you gotta liberate the forts. It's weird. Then you also fight colonials now, which I find distasteful, maybe because I'm an American. I'm biased, I guess. I find it distasteful that I'm killing colonial soldiers that I was just fighting with. It's strange. Anyway, the game does have a pretty decent story arc overall, combining Desmond's. Desmond plays a bigger role in this game, and it's really enjoyable that you actually get to assassinate and kill with him. And the story arc isn't that bad until the ending. They pulled a Mass Effect 3. They ruined the ending. There better not be a DLC ending. That's bullshit. I do not want to see that. I was legitimately pissed for about 3 days. I didn't want to play the game. I mean, I did a little free roaming, but then I'm like, okay, I'll play multiplayer. Put in my multiplayer disc. Turns out it doesn't work. So I was fuming. That's why I didn't put out the first review, because it was essentially me for about 15 minutes going, this game blows. Now that I've calmed down, I've looked at it and I've realized, and especially with me finishing the game, and I've gone exploring all the secondary missions that I ignored. I just want to play the main campaign first. It's actually a really good game, and it's not compared to, say, Brotherhood, which I find was the best Assassin's Creed game overall. Except multiplayer, I didn't play multiplayer much. I don't think it changed really. But Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood had the best campaign. It was my favorite. Revelations was good. It's just a little gray and brown and bland, and I didn't want to play it afterwards. But it was still a good game. Now, let me talk about why the game wasn't good in its own aspects. It was really glitchy. I personally feel the game was rushed. I think, or maybe because there was 5 different Ubisoft companies working on it, or 5 or more, I'm not sure. somewhere in the Philippines, somewhere in Europe, somewhere in North America. I think there wasn't just good communication between them all, and it ended up with a slightly glitchy game. And also, they have a new engine, which, you can't get everything right in the new engine. They had to stamp out some of the bad issues with it. But there are glitches. Pop-ins are pretty bad at some points in the campaign. It is pop in like crazy, or they're not, or the textures aren't clean or good until 20 seconds later. It, I mean, I can't really be bugged about it that much. It happens in a lot of games, but it is annoying, and it's something that I thought should be addressed. Now, with the glitches in the game, there was like running. I was running and got hit while running away and went into the under the map. Just some slight annoying things like that. Also, the lip syncing when you're not in a cutscene, like if it's just talking while you're in combat, it's terrible. They just open their mouths. It seems like they open and slightly move their mouths a little bit. That's the lip syncing. Now, however, for the cutscenes, the actual cutscenes, the lip syncing's pretty good. It's the best in the series, and its main contender is its previous games. Compared to its previous games, it's very good. It's beautiful. This game is beautiful. It sounds really good. However, the sounds are off occasionally. Like, this has happened in all the Assassin's Creed games that I can think of. Like, say, see my Indian guy right there? Say he pulls out a spear and stabs someone. Instead of making that with like the stabbing, the spear going through meat and bone, it will come about 2 seconds later after I've put my spear away. It is like sound delays or stuff like that. That has happened occasionally. Not in multiplayer. Multiplayer is pretty solid, but it does happen a decent amount in campaign, which is annoying, but stuff happens. Now, the multiplayer for this game is, personally, it's probably the best. Then again, as Cookie said earlier, not saying much. However, I enjoy the multiplayer on this game. I find it very fun. And I don't know what that guy was doing, standing by himself. That was dumb. But it's not bad. I actually enjoy the multiplayer. However, I think they put too much effort into the multiplayer, to clean out all the glitches, that they neglected the campaign. That is why there are campaign glitches, as many as there are. I do hope Ubisoft will be releasing a update within like the next couple of weeks or month that will fix many of these small little glitches. Hopefully somehow fix the pop-in texture issues, all that. Now, I want to get to the main point about the ending. This is spoiler, so if you have not played the game yet and intend to, stop now. The ending, they killed Desmond. Okay, I'll start over a little bit. In the ending, it was going good. It was going good. You're talking to Juno. Out of nowhere comes Minerva. If you haven't played the previous games, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Essentially, there was a civilization before humanity called the First Civilization. They were essentially humans, but more advanced. They were kind of like gods to us. Anyway, it seems that tens of thousands of years after they're dead, their AI constructs, who are representations of them, are not in agreement, even though that was never hinted at all in the series. The AI Minerva and the AI Juno hate each other, and there's like a little disagreement. And Minerva says, you have to let the world burn so you can save it, but if you save it, it will actually go back to what it was before. So essentially, Desmond would save the planet, then he would die of old age later on, but then he would be considered a god by humanity, and essentially would follow the same path as Christianity did during the medieval times, which is a dark time. And it's like, okay, it's a cycle, an endless cycle, and Juno's like, well, if you give me complete control of the world, I'll save it. She'll save most of it. So Desmond follows Juno's advice, yet he sacrifices himself to do that. I guess he gives his life energy or something. And with him dead, Juno says, you've played your part, now it's my turn to do my part or whatever. That was a curveball out of nowhere. I was pissed off. I was like, are you kidding me? You were going to end a video game on that? That is bull. Ubisoft, that is bull crap. That is a terrible way to end it. I don't know, Mass Effect 3 really affected me and how bad it ended, but they did release DLC endings that have made it better. Maybe not great, but they have made it better. They have filled in plot holes, which should have been filled in from the beginning. But I don't see how they can fix the Desmond ending. I do not see how they can fix it. It is annoying. It is stupid. It makes no sense. It hints towards an Assassin's Creed 4 without Desmond. Desmond, the main character through 5 Assassin's Creed games. It is a terrible design choice. Terrible. Alright, that is my review of this game. I give this game, I wanted to give it a 7, especially since I played the free roaming, but the ending was so annoying and all the bugs in the game. I'm going to have to give the game a 6.5. Now 6.5 isn't terrible. This is my rating system. 1 through 4 are terrible, or like bad, variations of bad. 5 is neutral, yes or no, however you want to get it, and 6 and above is okay, or 6 and above is positive. This game gets a 6.5 due to it felt rushed. It felt rushed, incomplete. It could have easily made a 7.5, possibly an 8. It felt rushed, incomplete. They did have new ideas, like the naval battle thing. That was a great idea. It actually goes really smooth. It's fluid. It's great. The combat system, much better. I enjoyed it. The running, even running, I mean, they took away the A button to run faster, but they included that in the default run. It's smooth. It looks like you're really running. It's so fluid, and you move like an acrobat. And these are all good things. That's why it raised it from what I was originally going to give it a 6 earlier. Like in my rage moment, I was thinking 5.56. Instead, then I thought 7. That was overdoing it, so I had to really think about it. And I'm going to say it's a 6.5. It has great graphics for an Assassin's Creed game. They're very pretty. The lip syncing in the cutscenes is good. Other than that, they're terrible. Combat, multiplayer, movement are all very good. The naval warfare was actually really cool. I haven't really gone into it much except for what the campaign gave me, but it is really fun. I do enjoy it. And I've already stated all the problems that I've noticed that were big thorns in my side. So the final review final score for this game is a 6.5. If you have played previous Assassin's Creed games and you want to play Assassin's Creed 3, I'm sorry if I spoiled the ending for you, but I suggest a rent definitely for the campaign. Possibly a buy. Multiplayer, while good, is not much different from what it was in Brotherhood. From Brotherhood and Revelations, it was almost the same thing. And from Revelations to 3, it's still the same thing. There's a new mode, Wolfpack, which is cool, but I haven't played it yet. Matt is refusing to play. I do multiplayer, I do co-op stuff with him. So, as I said, 6.5 is the final score for this game. If you've never played an Assassin's Creed game before and you play it, you might go, okay, that was an okay ending, whatever. But if you have played Assassin's Creed, you will be pissed off. So, I hope I've informed you of this game, and I hope you consider wisely before buying it. If you do buy it, you will enjoy it, especially once you finish the game and can free roam. So anyway, guys, this is Terran151. This is my Assassin's Creed 3 game review. I hope you all have a good day.